Okay, time for another one of my off-the-script kind of discussions, and today I wanted to talk about whether it would be better for us to get Master Chief or Crash Bandicoot as our next character in the Fighter's Pass. So, it's no surprise to anyone that E3 is coming up and that we're basically all guessing that that's the time frame that we're going to get our next fighter. And so, seeing as how it's an E3 event, which is a Western event, it makes sense for it to be a Western character. Of course, the first E3 that we had, we ended up getting Banjo. The second one didn't end up happening, but there's speculation that it would have been Steve. I don't know if there's any concrete evidence or if it's just 100%. That's what I think would have happened, but, you know, there's that floating around that it possibly could have been Steve at E3 in 2020 if that ended up happening. But E3 of this year, I am pretty safe to guess that we might end up getting a Western character. Now, the two frontrunners that I believe would be either Crash Bandicoot or Master Chief from Halo. So first, let me talk about the chances of either of them getting in. So Crash's chances of getting in have just been going up recently. Since he's gotten onto a Nintendo platform, it shows that Nintendo is actually working with their parent company and that they're trying to get more representation of Crash onto their own Nintendo console. For Halo, however, even though they don't have any kind of representation on Nintendo platforms, as far as I know, we do know that Nintendo is working with Microsoft, as we've seen with both Banjo and Steve being added to the list. So, which one of them is more likely? For that one, I'm going to say that it goes to Crash Bandicoot. The reason for that is because if you look at the sales of the Xbox in general in Japan, I'm talking about the entire console and all the games that came with it, Smash Bros. Itself sold more than that entire console. Master Chief in Japan is kind of like Terry Bogard in the US. The Japanese would look at Master Chief and be like, who? Who's that guy? I mean, he basically has no representation, even though Halo is, I think, the biggest Xbox game on that side of the country. I guess in the entire world, the biggest Xbox. Master Chief is the Crash Bandicoot of Microsoft, whereas Crash Bandicoot is the Mario of PlayStation. So either one would be super iconic, and I think that it would be so fun to have either one of them. But if I'm going with the chances of one of them getting in over the other, I'm going to go with Crash Bandicoot here. Now, let's talk about another thing. Let's talk about the potential moveset, and for that, I think the Master Chief wins hands down. Now, this is my creativity talking here. Like, I don't know what Sakurai would be able to do with the character, but, you know, seeing what we saw with Banjo, I'm going to say that out of all the DLC, he has the least interesting kit as far as my opinion goes, and I don't know if Crash Bandicoot would really have much more to offer than that. Of course, this is Sakurai we're talking about, so he could come up with some great stuff, amazing stuff to use with him. He could be really fun to use. But Master Chief, he has so many options that he could do, especially pulling from his main series games. There are so many weapons that he has which can have different effects. He has grenades, he has that sword thing that he has. Sorry, I haven't played Halo in a while, so I'm a little fuzzy on all of his kit of what he could do. But if I were to just say, would I rather have a spinning Bandicoot or one of the top first-person shooters of all time, as far as moveset goes, I would probably pick Master Chief. Now, that's not really what we're talking about here. We're talking about which would be best for Smash Ultimate. And for that one, I've got to say, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. So, of course, Crash Bandicoot is hugely popular both in the US and in Japan. So, if you look at almost any Japanese wish list, you're going to find Crash Bandicoot in there somewhere. Same thing with here in America, although here in America he's probably going to be number 1 on most people's wish list, whereas in Japan he'll probably end up being, like number 4 or 5. The Japanese really want Sora, they want Dante, they want Arl for some reason from Puyo Puyo. I don't really see much chance of that happening though, so you don't have to worry about that. But really, I can't say one way or another. I would be super happy with either of them getting in. Master Chief, of course, it would be so fun to see what a first-person shooter would look like in Smash. Crash Bandicoot would be fun just because I love those kind of cartoony characters that I would just love to play the game and hear, whoa! But yeah, I'm not really sure, and as I'm doing this, I'm finally realizing, wait a minute, what am I really trying to get at here? Well, maybe I should take the discussion part of this off-scripted discussion and really turn it into a discussion. So, talk to me. What would you like to see? Would you rather see Crash Bandicoot? Would you rather see Master Chief? Which one do you think is more likely? Which one do you think would have the better moveset? Which one would just have a bigger overall impact in Smash in general? So, yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment to let me know, and I'll see you guys next time.